Alrighty then. Are you ready, boys? Hello. So, yeah, everything's working. Beautiful. So, if you have any questions while we do this, just fire away. I published the solution as well on the PHP course, so you can use it and see how fairly simple it was. Um, the main problem probably was understanding what I wanted to do. Like this kind of thing is gonna like I was trying to find a way to just precisely say what you should do, and then in the following weeks, the second week now and the week three mainly as well, they're like just loosened so you can do whatever you want there as long as you finish the objective that it does what I said or ask what it should do, which is fairly simple. Like I have all of them here as well, so I can check later. But the one uploaded week two at least, not 30 minutes ago, because that's the last time I checked. So yeah, I'm not gonna discuss that. But the first week was like regarding variables and conditions. So I've been, using this file to just demonstrate it in the video, how do they work, how to create them, how to make like comments, how do we start the PHP script, and so on. While I'm at this, I guess I can make it slightly more visible, right? So let's do this then. Uh, I think it's font size, but I'm not sure. Let's check. Yeah, editor font size. Let's make it 18. I think that's gonna be enough. Is it more visible? Also, let me toggle word wrap then, and white space, because those ones will be beneficial. So, I was mainly talking in the video about like being consistent in the code itself and so on. What I meant that there are people who like to use tabs as a tab instead of like two spaces. It highly depends on you. I like to use spaces instead of tabs because they are more consistent than tabs because they're inconsistent. So this is kind of why I'm pro spaces. It's up to you what you want to use. I've been talking about the code cell, so you need to be cohesive and so on. Blah blah blah. All right, so I guess it's time to showcase the code, right? So the solution for this task was pretty simple. So the task was to create a condition, and yeah, I just was guiding it step by step. It was very easy. Like the solution was in like 10 lines essentially, if you knew what to do. Um, there are, of course, people who found a way to make it weird, but we're gonna talk about that. So again, create a condition where a has to be greater or equal than 2 times b plus c. So I made the condition like this. There are multiple ways to do this. You can of course create a different variable, like call it hello or something. Assign it this value of this, and then you just ask if a is bigger than hello. That's also a viable solution. Of course, there's just multiple solutions you can do here. But it was just asked to create a condition. If it's greater, if it's not, then echo the other one. You should use these echoes here. I put them there to help you understand it slightly better. So you don't have to like find out why it's how to make a new line or something like that. So I just did this. Uh, but there are like multiple ways to approach this problem, and I'll be discussing like what you uploaded now. So if I return this back to normal, there we go. So let's discuss what you uploaded. So yeah, 4 people uploaded it. So I named the files the same. I know who you are. You will know yours, but you will not know the other ones, so it's all right, I guess. So the first solution, I still gave it 10 points, but there were several issues. If I run the program right now, it's actually gonna like bump out so many errors. because here we're using the variable c without the dollar sign, so therefore it's considered as a PHP constant. And since it's not defined, it will just throw down a warning. Uh, Anyhow, it was fairly simple done, but the person didn't use the echo I've listed here. And then when he tried to use the echo, then he just failed to do \n. Logical errors. Yeah. So he used n and /, and then he used switched at last, which is also correct. I didn't ask for it, but it was correct. It worked. So the problems I had with this, so here, like obviously, look at this white space. Unnecessary white space, like you can just reduce that, no problem. Again, another line here. Again, another line here. Like you can make so many changes to this to make it look better as well. Uh, so let's just put it like this so it looks cohesive with the rest of it. So first things first, this code worked when I fixed the errors here mainly. So if I added the dollar sign here and here and here, it actually worked and it outputted everything correct. So like the correct output should be 3, 3, 6, and 45. So it outputted correctly after I added this. But there was one extra mistake here when the person just used plus for some reason. I asked for it to be like greater or equal. So the greater sign is there, but not the equal sign. So the equal sign is missing there. And the plus here, the PHP considers everything as an expression, so it tries to resolve this expression. If there's nothing here, it will try to do a plus test is greater or is greater than a, which was really incorrect, but still it outputted correct, so I still gave the 10 points. But just beware, don't use these like plus expressions in the conditions. Just use them in a separate way so it looks easier to understand as well, because you will not get lost in the code mainly. Anyhow, everything else here was correct. And the echoes here, there were, yeah, the person didn't use these useful echoes for the variables. But besides that, it was correct. I like the using of switch case here, which I'm not a fan of, but it's a variable solution and it works. In code style manners, I would always just put this onto another tab. So it looks like it's under the case, not like on the same column as case. So it looks that it belongs together and then it exits like or stops with the break sign. It's much more easier to understand and see like this instead of what it was before like this. So this task was fairly simple. It was a nice example of some of the mistakes, but at the same time, it was correctly done despite of these errors and stuff, which the person probably didn't check. But at the same time, it was a guy who had problems with PHP NOEnt. There was there were almost everyone had problems with PHP NOEnt. But we fixed that. I found a fix, so I published it. It was all right. So let's move to a second person. So this is fairly simple. You can see that, it uses the echoes I've managed. The stuff is there. Echo is here. The only thing that bothers me, there was a write your code below this, and he wrote it above it. But all right, it's all right. No problems. So it worked. Like you can see, it used nesting here. Triggered. Yeah, Nico. Hello. So yeah, you can use the conditions like this. I've said that you can create another variable and you can store this there, and then you can compare them. It's slightly easier to see, at least for like beginners. Using this is a nice expression. It precisely says, all right, it needs to be 2 times b and plus c, and that has to be greater or equal, or sorry, less or equal than a, since a has to be greater or equal than this. So this condition was correct. The setting up the variables was correct. The echo was correct. If I run it, it's the required output 33645. So that was correct without any problems. No warnings, no notices. Yeah, that was just simple and done. So moving on to a very interesting solution, which is number 3 here. Um, Again, a person had problems with PHP NON because of the global variable set and stuff like that. So he kind of skipped a lesson and made a very interesting piece of code. uh, Nevertheless, it worked. This code was meant to be running on a server actually already, on the full solution, which we're going to discuss on week 4 actually. Um, But nevertheless, despite all the issues, it actually worked. So if I run the code, it's gonna write very interesting stuff, as you can see. But you code. Yeah, I code, but this is not mine. This is someone else's. Um, so this is kind of funny. How did I learn it? Yeah, mainly I learned it by myself, and I also had the help of like other stuff. So this is fairly complicated, a very complicated solution, but it reaps the results. So here we have some elements from HTML. Since probably the person, since he couldn't get the debug to work, he probably used like a server with like the full Apache and PHP and MySQL maybe even. And also he used functions, which are supposed to be this week. So that's quite cool at the same time. But nevertheless, it accomplished everything. If you look down below, it still is the required output. Like it's 3645. And here, this is like the echo, which is supposed to be the condition. So the condition was correct, and he passed or he pasted all the variables in. So theoretically, this works. I've tested it numerous times. It actually does. So despite this looks horrible, it actually is a correct solution. But as you can see, it's 70 like lines, 71, and it starts. Yeah, it starts at 20. So like 50 lines of code where you can just have it in less than 10. But it's a viable solution. So what am I supposed to say here? So here he uses war dumps, which is alright. It's slightly better than using echo because echo can't echo arrays properly. So war dump is really good for this. And you can also see like the type of the variable it's like storing as well. So a, here we see it's an integer and it's the number 3, integer with 6, integer 45. It's slightly easier to understand, and yeah, you precisely know what it stores. So the output was correct. So all of these solutions were for 10 points, which is kind of funny despite the first one had an obvious mistake, but it was just a small mistake. The person probably didn't like check himself. Nevertheless, it was correct as well. This was really complicated, but it was also correct. So good job, everyone. You made me proud. You learned something. Well, and the last one we have is by far the best one, since it also uses the comments to comment on the code. So, and he also uses to calculate it manually. And he says, oh no, so it will definitely be this, and B is 3, A becomes 3. Like he uses the comment section to like precisely say what it does. He also uses the shortened versions of addition and multiplication. So that obviously is something which seems like, oh, this person knows how the code works and how to make it shorten because he probably has experience with other languages because it's very similar to that there as well. Here he could have used it as well, but he didn't for some reason. But nevertheless, as you can see, he just 6 is better than 5. Yes, then why this happens. And if I run the code, it is precisely the output I've been asking, 33645. So this output is correct, therefore it's worth 10 points. But since he uses the comments and the shortened versions, which is like a next level, I gave him the extra point, which it doesn't matter anyway because the points are meaningless in this course. But that's kind of it. The solutions weren't that hard. Especially, it was just working with variables, multiplications, and just understanding what an equal is. That the result of what's happening on the right side is gonna be stored on what's on the left side on the equal. So that is also possible. So there were nice solutions. I liked all of them. Well, uh, besides this one because that was weird to just navigate through, but it was correct nevertheless. So this week is fairly simple as well since if you watched the video, it shouldn't be like a problem to navigate through it. The video is fairly easy. As you can see, I have a solution here. I'm not gonna click on that. But again, it's fairly simple. It's just an easy thing. Why? Okay, word wrap is now being turned on. So again, fairly simple. We have recursion. If you watched the video, I had the specific. I think it was like the first thing I've talked about, like with functions after how you create them. Yes, somewhere it's functions, creation, parameters, returns, global, recursion, and loops. Yeah, so it was the last thing about functions, so you could watch that. Yeah, Nico. Well, it is simple because I produced a video and that explains everything how it works. So did you had anything like that, Nico? It's like an hour-long video, but it says precisely like how to use this. And I have a special like 5-minute video regarding the task as well when I say precisely how I want it and how easy can it be. So if people watch it, they should know it. And definitely if they watch the hour-long video, they should know most of the stuff because I definitely mentioned them in the video mainly. So recursion, I mentioned it in the video. It's this part. Then I have code analysis when you just comment on these questions. What it is. You can also click on this link, which displays the modulo. Jeez, you sound like my teacher. Baby, right? I guess. Module, and then you will create your own function in the exercise 3 here, which and I like had to specify that what it should do like precisely. But doing the recursion or stopping the recursion from happening here is fairly simple as well. Like getting to know what the magic function does is also very simple since you can uncomment the var dump, so it knows what it returns, like here. Therefore, you can immediately answer this question. And again, shortened version of incrementation, I've talked about that. Modulo, again, I mentioned it in a video. You can also click this, we can get that. The difference between global and local variable, the sum, and this is just a question what it's gonna be. Again, you can war dump it. Like you have so many ways to do this. Why it's being initialized like this before the loop. Setting up the initial condition for the loop itself, then the loop, and the return. Like it might seem complicated, but this is actually one of the easiest functions to understand. But it also uses the function you had to code yourself. So you cannot do this without doing this, because otherwise it would return an error that too much nesting of recursion. So that's funny. So that's week three. It like sorry, week two. Like it's fairly simple. Week three is gonna be slightly harder because it's more all aimed as a practical thing. Week four is gonna be definitely only practical, and the video about it is gonna be short as well because I recorded it already, so I know. So the first 3 weeks, like week one, two, and three, the first week has 55 minutes, the second week has 55 minutes, the third week has 45 minutes, I think, and week four has I think 25. Like it's very fast. It is incredibly, yeah, and just week four is just aimed for the practical thing when you just combine all the knowledge we've gathered throughout week one to three, and from there you can just, yeah, move on. Week four is also going to be the week where we're going to be working with live data, since we're going to learn how to access data from like APIs and stuff. And also, there is going to be yeah, it's going to be accessing data from the API. We're going to use Gilvor's API because everyone who entered is familiar with Gilvor, so why the fuck not? And we are also going to be processing this data, so the data can change, so the code needs to be, adjusted so it can recognize the change and so on. So yeah, so any like big tasks, big questions here. So uh, yeah, let me go 4cam for this. Hello. Okay. So if you have any questions, you just fire away. You can do that. Yeah, I know the fizz bus test. No. It don't ring it doesn't ring a bell to me. What the fuck? Go to Google and my browser is like, your connection is not secure. What? It's fucking Google. uh, for multipliers of three, friends fizz instead of the number. Oh, are you kidding me? That's actually. I'm not gonna lie. That's um. It might be in the material I'm having, but not like Fizzbuzz. Wait. I think that's in the video. Hey, I remember I had it somewhere. I'm searching for it, guys. Hey, maybe it was week 2 actually. Yeah, it was week. It was. Are you kidding me? It's actually in this week's like the video. Oh, Nico. Yeah. Wait. There you go. Oh, you should see the thing now. So this is the part of the video um, of this week. And when I'm talking about loops, where I use continues and breaks, here I'm skipping if it's divisible by 3, and here I'm breaking when it's divisible by 3 and 5 at the same time. Oh my god, that's very similar. Like, like 1, 2, then they skips the third one, 4, 5, skips the sixth one because 6 is divisible by 3, 7, 8, 9 is divisible by 3, 10. Like, wow, alright. Yeah, I use these functions here and I defined them already, so you didn't have to do that. test in the army. Uh, like research management mainly, I think. But he can tell you that. But yeah, this is part of the this week's video actually. The last part when I talk about continues and breaks. So I'm using the function divisible by 3 here, a number, and like this is the expression which I don't want to talk about because it spoils the task because that is precisely this. But yeah, it's precisely that. So again, like this thing, yeah, you just do recursion. You can just open recursion, and you should know that thing. If you look into the magic here, you have to describe what it does. You can use the word dump, so you can answer the last question here. And yes, and then you have to create like a function of your own, which uses like another function. And then you also need to echo. Like this week's task is fairly simple, I think. Are these tasks from uni? No, this is from my online course. They're very simple because they're aimed for complete beginners. So the first week we had like variables and conditions, like what they are. This week is functions and loops. The following week is gonna be like nice tricks and what you can use, like ternary operator, null listen operator, combining conditions. What else is there in week 3? Let me check. Array functions, what JSON is, how to escape characters. Yeah, and a small revision. Yeah, week 4 is just pure practical with using the external libraries and stuff. And 5 and 6 is also going to be practical. And then 7, 8 is going to be like the final project time. So yeah, so this is from my online course from like Google Classroom thing. Like yeah, it's aimed for complete beginners. So it is fairly simple, but it's hard for me to know what simple is since I have a lot of experience with this. So I'm like thinking, oh, this is complete, easiest thing in my life, what I've ever seen in my life. But I think it's gonna be precisely what everyone else can understand easily as well. Um, so yeah, so this week's are functions and loops. Last week was variables, conditions, and yeah, that's it. Do you have anything in mind to do after you complete this course? Well, I can make it like happening again with like new people because it's like but I can do like different tasks but the same material kind of. Or I can make just somewhat advanced continuation. But I designed it that way so it like fits together nicely, and I have always like an hour-long video. At least the first 2 weeks are hour-long, like with the week, and you have the entire week to watch it and then do the task, which shouldn't take you like the week one was a simple solution, like this is the solution, 10 lines of code. Like this shouldn't take you more than 15 minutes if you paid attention to the video, and you can also like look at the file from the video where you can see like everything I used and stuff. Um, so like that is available. Then I can use some advanced class where I just mix PHP with HTML, since now it's mostly going to be PHP because I will be providing the HTML for it already. And we also need to set up a server, since now we're only running on the PHP like itself, no like the full solution with servers, with Apache, MySQL, and other stuff. So probably we're gonna use XAMPP. I'm still not sure, but I think I'm like 80% sure we're probably gonna use XAMPP for that, or you know, LAMP on Linux if anyone has that still. So, but I will probably use XAMPP for that, so we can have the server, so they can just pass the HTML code inside, and then we're gonna like there's gonna be like a task. I have it planned, but it's still not done yet. But yeah, there's just gonna be a PHP code that they should write to like process the information from a form. Then week 6 is like databases, so they like the initial like look onto like how databases work and how to access the database and so on and so on. Like you truly have like a week to prepare, and there's just it shouldn't take you more than 2 hours. I designed it that like every week shouldn't take you more than 2 hours, but every week you learn something new. At the start of like the new week, in the video again, there's a small revision just to like say what's happened the last week. So in case of week 2, which is current one, yeah, there's just how to create them, how conditions work, else if, like, yeah, it was a small revision, and then just bumping immediately into functions, how to create functions, how to put them with parameters, how to set them to be optional, um, how to do returns, PHP doc as well. Yeah, like it is really designed not to take more than 2 hours. And since I'm gonna be moving, like the first 3 weeks are truly like just saying, oh, you need this, this, this to know. And week 4 is gonna be, oh, now we're gonna use all of this we've learned to make actually something which does something. So yeah, so far that is how it's being said right now, and I'm quite happy with how it's being said right now. So that's cool. Um, and yeah, that's it. I think that will like fully close this out. So anyone who's here from the course, do you wanna like ask a question or something regarding the code, or if you think you should do something better next time, or how to do it better or something? Just fire away. Me also, yeah, this is slightly better, right? It's 30 FPS, but it's 1080p. But I'm streaming on 720 because it's being downgraded because memes, but whatever. So yeah, any questions, especially from people from my course, while you were here? Um, you can even ask for week 2. I'm not gonna provide you solution, but I can like clarify something if you don't know something or are you not sure. Since now you have the time, you don't have to ask in the comments in the classroom. Okay, I guess no questions. um, right, let me quickly log into Google Classroom. Maybe someone already uploaded the week 2 task. Probably not, but yeah, no one yet. So yeah, so I guess that can like close this out. Yeah, 39 minutes. It was very short. And you also know what to do next as well, kinda, since I give you a sneak peek of what's week 3 about, and 4 as well. Uh, I think most of you will hate the first 3 weeks, but I think the week 4 is gonna be like the breakthrough when you were like, oh, this is cool. Since we're gonna be working with Guild 2 API and doing some nasty things to it as well. So yeah, I guess that's that. And yeah, I think I will swap to games now then, since we're kind of done with this. Um, so I will highlight this video and I will post it there as well. So uh, there was someone who didn't or couldn't join, then it's going to be available. And yeah, so Wing 3 function, sorry, Wing 3, week. Week 2 functions and loops. Wing 3 a little complexity. Week 4 some complexity. Week 5 processing data. Week 6 is databases. And it's going to be a final project assignments as well. And 7 and 8 weeks are going to be like the weeks you can like fire questions if you need help, but it should be a project which should take about 5 hours to finish. Gilvers to API POCHAM, yeah. We're gonna be, I don't even know yet, but um, yeah, I will be talking about the external libraries, and we're gonna make a login to Discord. So that's week 5. We're gonna make week 4. Week 5, we're gonna make a form on the web page, and we're gonna store it in a text file, like the data. Um, and yeah, week 6, we're gonna be talking about database. So you will get the file. Like week 4, 5, and 6, you're gonna get a special file for each, which contains the functions. So you don't have to write them your own because they're slightly like on a level that you should know what they do. So Wing 4, Wing 4. I keep saying Wing 4. Jesus. Week 4, you will get a file where you get the using the library CURL code, so you don't have to write it yourself. So you can just query the parameters, and it's gonna download the data in for you. So that's gonna be easy. But the task is gonna be to process the data. So just be ready for that. Uh, the week 5, yeah, you're gonna get functions to save to file, but you have to process the full request out of the form yourself. And week 6, you're gonna get a file where you can access the database using the prepared statements, so you don't have to do it yourself again. Plus you will know, and yeah, you will have to set up yeah, you will for week 4. I think I'm gonna be publishing that mid week 3, that you need to install the full system now. So now you only use the PHP itself, like the executable, but we will gonna need a full solution where we will host server on our local PC, like the full blown server. So MySQL, PHP, Apache. Yeah, that's it. We don't need more. And these 3 things will be the most important thing, because that will conclude in an easy thing. 10 out of 10 loop. Oh, what is this? Jesus. Oh my god. Well, oh yeah, you're using it as a class, yeah. We're probably gonna use it as a procedure code instead of a class. So we're not gonna do like the SQL, dash and the sign for less than, or sorry, greater than, and then like query, but we're gonna use MySQL I underscore query, and we're gonna have to specify the database connection and then the query. Um, like learning classes is slightly next level. I wouldn't, yeah, really don't want to include them in the course, at least not now, since why do you have so many breaks? Like, this is disgusting. At least it works, I guess. Jesus. Is that the Guild Wars 2 Armory thing? Or is it something else? Pagination in PHP. No description provided. Interesting. What? Oh, here it's using as a procedural. It was Armor for the tooltips. Yeah. Yeah, I see. Updated 2 years ago. Nice. uh, well, it works, I guess. Added git attributes and git ignore files. Yeah. Very important files. Yeah, I guess it works, so why not, I guess? Is PHP a viable way to increase my DPS? Well, I don't know, but at the same time, you will just transform your way of thinking slightly, and then when you encounter something in game, for example, you're like, oh, I know precisely how they code this bullshit. Oh, I know what precisely is causing the bug, therefore I can find a solution, but they won't because, it's all piece of shit code and they will never repair it. Welcome to Guild Wars 2. Uh, oh, God. Yeah, that's Guild Wars 2 for you, unfortunately. All right, so, okay, I will conclude the PHP session then. Because I don't think, yeah, you don't have, like, any good questions for this. Your loop there is horrible, but more whatever. Oh god. At least you're using is set there for some reason. Ugh. Number of items in bulk. uh, I would use for each there because the number can vary, especially if you're at the end of pagination, by the way. And I would just have a condition like if it's lower than oh, by the way, we're gonna end soon. So the code knows. At least that's how I do. That's how I do checking up the Twitch API. So yeah, we're gonna work with Guild Wars 2 API because you don't need an extra account on the Twitch developer page, which is annoying. So that's A, it's annoying. And the second, you also, yeah, you don't even need an API key to specify to access certain endpoints at all, and there are no rate limits, so you can abuse that API as much as you want to. So that is cool. Oh god. Oh, you're using sprintf. I guess it works. Yeah. Oh god. Get item game types. Yeah, I'm not getting items, but wait, I can show you this piece of code. I think I don't think I will be doxing my code that hard if I show you this. Give me a second. Cause I had to do this for my Twitch extension. Uh, uh, shoot. Yeah, I had to do this for my Twitch extension, and I make a cron. So, well, not a cron, but it's just ready PHP code. So every time I'm gonna need it, I can just call it. I call it update Guild Wars 2 assets, and it does precisely what it sounds like. Also, let me replace my API key. There we go. You don't see it. And let me do word wrap. There we go. Okay, that sounds yeah, that looks horrible. Okay, okay. Preferences, settings. Uh, Whatever. And no render white space. There we go. Um, all right. So I don't think I'm gonna be doxing my code this much if I will show you this. But wait, can you see it? Oh, yeah, you can't see me now. Okay, a second. I need to fix this because the camera settings. Okay, so we're back on the 60 FPS. And now when I switch, you should see me. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I have a function when I get the specs as array, traits, titles, PvP rank, seasons, maps, and then I just replace them into the database like this. Also ternary operators, wink free by the way. Weak free by the way. MySQL escape string bitches and database links. Like, like they, this is so ridiculous, simple and easy. Like, it works, so why the fuck not? All right. Let's finally sum up this week, please. Um, all right. So let's play games. All right. Yeah, I will highlight this video and post it later on. But yeah, so this was the PHP part. If you want to guys join, feel free. It's still open, but you cannot handing the first week's task, obviously, because I've just shown you the solution. And there's a solution available on the classroom itself, so you can't do that anymore. But you can join and do the week 2 and 3 ones. Games Resident Sleeper? I honestly I would code something on stream if I could, but I'm just way too afraid that I would just dox my code and it wouldn't be good. Alright.